All right, welcome inside our New York studios. Texas going between the hedges, a rematch of last year's SEC championship game with Georgia, won by the Dogs in overtime. Very physical, especially if you were a Georgia quarterback. Each already has a conference loss. Always thinking playoff here. What are some keys that we're looking at as these two collide again, BJ?
Well, first, this reminds me of 2023, the Longhorns going to Tuscaloosa and taking on Saban and Bama and getting a huge win. There's explosive plays that they were able to make. What concerns me is this secondary for Texas. They were decimated in that Vandy ball game. They played great. I mean, we were in studio. It was 31-10. We look up, and it's 34-31. What happened? And you go back and you watch the game tape, and guy after guy gets hurt in the secondary. And Georgia, they have so many wide receivers. I was watching their last game. It's like, who was this guy? We knew about Branch. Of course, Kobe Young has been hurt. Then you got Thomas, number 5. Then you got all these tight ends. They got another giant, 6'7", Elias. Was it Williams, I believe?
The Elias Sports Bureau.
Oh, this dude is so huge. So that's what's going to be problematic for Texas. Can they cover all these guys if their defense is not able to mount pressure?
Okay. Keys?
I actually like Texas in this game because I think they are on a roll in the throw game. It was coming along very slowly, given all the preseason publicity that Arch had gotten. We had forgotten that all those great receivers, Matthew Golden's and company, were gone, and they had to grow into something. But the last 2 weeks that Texas has played, 700 yards of passing. That's a sign of good things to come. And add to that Georgia is struggling in the pass rushing department. They're last in the SEC in sacks. They're 8th in pass defense. So to me, this sets up really nicely. You mentioned that secondary. They got a week to heal. They're coming off a bye while Georgia was doing battle with Mississippi State. But listen, I think Sark knows how to take a team on the road. He knows exactly. You mentioned that Alabama game. I like the way this positions for Texas. And then add a dash of desperation because they got to win.
Yeah.
They got to win to get themselves where they want to go.
And they each have their in-state rivals coming.
This feels like a rivalry because you play a team as many times as you play Georgia and you keep losing to them. It morphs into a rivalry.
And Sark and Kirby working together in the past.
Yeah, it really smells like one. I mean, is it going to be for the foreseeable future? This is going to be the marquee game. Alabama, Texas, Georgia, Texas, and not to discount everybody else, but you look at the last 3 road games that Texas has had in the SEC, they've given up 432 yards a game, which is very un-Texas-like, especially with the talent on that defense they have. But the biggest problem you're going to have is the way that Georgia's starting to play. You talk about that talent on the offensive side. Not even talking about what Gunnar Stockton's been doing at the end of games. They figured out the finish, and just be really careful with Georgia, because if Georgia gets past this game, they're going to the SEC championship game playing somebody, and they get to that, they're in the dance, and they're a dangerous team, as dangerous as anybody in the country.
This is their conference finale.
Yep.
It's going to be really interesting because Texas, because of that throw game, is built a lot like Alabama was when they came in and proved that Georgia was not invincible at home. They were able to throw and win on the road. But this Texas team, Randy, you mentioned those kind of road woes defensively.
Yeah.
This Georgia team up front, the one knock on this offense was their inability to run the football and the fact that their offensive line had been playing well. That's starting to change. I don't want to put the stake in the ground and say that it has, but it's heading in the right direction. Now, Texas has all the front 7 you want to be able to take advantage of people, but Georgia is consistently sticking to the run. 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, and then bam, they'll gash you. Those young players have come along. Those injuries have been healthy and recovered, and they're now a balanced offense, and they provide looks and fronts and structure that are really hard to defend. So you add crowd noise to that. Texas's offensive line has a lot of work to do. So when you're on the road, you can't run the football. You're in third medium, third and long. Your pass rush doesn't have to be great. And the Bulldogs on the back end have held up pretty good despite not being able to rush. They bend but don't break, keep everything in front of you, and then struggle you or
Strangle.
Thank you. That's the other word. Jabberwocky there. Strangle, straggle.
Scrabble?
Siphon and get you in the end. Get you.
Casey Stengel.
That's what Nate Frazier did to Mississippi State last week. The first back since DeAndre Swift, I believe, to rush for at least 180 yards. This dude has a burst. He's so patient, and then he's gone. And he runs with power. You're not going to arm tackle him. So I'm hoping Texas has that strength in that front seven to corral this guy and strangle him as well. Because that looked like Georgia of old, way they ran the ball last week.
I believe the word is spackle. All right, let's hear what both coaches had to say. It turns out Sark sounds like, he didn't think the team was as focused on the game in front of them earlier this year versus now, which is an obvious concern. Let's listen.
I think early on, we were a little too focused on what was down the road. And I think we've gotten a maturity of a team now that is focused on the task at hand and what's right in front of us. And that's what this game requires. This game against Georgia requires all of its attention that it deserves. And that attention isn't just Saturday night at 7:30. It's the attention that it deserves today.
Yeah, this team didn't beat Texas. That team, and this Texas hasn't played this team of ours. So two completely different teams, in my opinion. I've been really proud of the consistency in practice. So I don't know that that's an improvement. I think that is a staple of this team. They have committed to practicing the right way and improving in a time when some teams are going the other way.
Yeah, that was a play. Sportsline has Georgia winning narrowly. Rick stated his case for Texas. For those of us for those watching who didn't watch Inside College Football, what are your picks?
I think the Silver Britches are going to get it. Georgia is a team that, remember, they're hard to kill, right? They believe that way. They play that way more than anything. They're not great on the defensive side of the ball, but they're solid, right? They're not what we're used to, but they play good enough defense. The offense clearly is the strength of the team. And, man, they know how to finish games, Randy. I thought you said it beautifully.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the way they finish, they're like that body getting out of the coffin. You got to put the stake in their heart. If you don't put the stake in Georgia's heart, they're going to come out and they're going to suck all the blood out.
Got to fully strangle them.
Man, what's going on that side of the room?
I don't know, but this should have been the Halloween conversation.
Some stigmas over there.
We're on to Thanksgiving now.
Going in a different direction.
You got Dracula and...
What were you watching before you came to work? So you're going with the Horns?
I'm going with Georgia.
Oh!
I think Georgia wins this ball game. Yeah.
Hook 'em, by God.
I'm with you. My heart says Texas. My brain says Georgia.
It's a win-win.
It's going to be a difficult place to play. Texas, their running game is, not stellar. It was versus OU. And it has had its moments, but it's got to be consistent going on the road, and that defense the same. And they boxed in Pavia. He had that one touchdown run for maybe 20, 25 yards where they didn't set the edge. They got to, man, it's going to be a four-quarter affair.
Yeah.
This is big-time SEC ball.
And Texas is out of mulligans at this point.
Yep.
If they lose this one, then, you got to beat A&M and then hope that there's some chaos around you as a three-loss team.
Just remember the value of the bye. Value of the bye, having a 2-week opportunity to prepare for this game.
Okay, cool. We'll be monitoring that value.
Strangle that bye.
Along with Bitcoin.
Take that bye.
Scraggle.
Get all the blood out of it.
NVIDIA and
Juice all the blood out.